Landlord wants a professional to install my smoke detectors? Okay. This was posted as a comment. And I realized it is perfect MC. Whenever I move into a rental, I replace the smoke detector with a brand spanking new one. And usually add a second battery-operated one as well. I leave them in the units after I leave. But for my peace of mind, and because I have grown up with fire safety drilled into my brain, I want to be sure they will work properly, and that they will not fail. One landlord I had told me a certified fire protection company had to install the battery-operated smoke detector I bought. WTF. It is 2 screws. And that an electrician had to replace the other hardwired one. I tried getting the maintenance guy to do it, but he wouldn't. Finally my dad, who owned a fire protection company at the time, came and installed it, not before asking if that was the detector installed in all units. When they said yes, he brought down the wrath of the fire inspector. The smoke detectors were over 40 years old and beyond life expectancy. After that, they never asked me to get a professional to do anything. I wonder why. ETA. For clarification, an electrician is not required for an install since no new lines were being run. So no permits needed to be pulled. Also, a professional did not need to install it, since it was being installed in a residence. They are only required if it is in a commercial area. I tried to explain and show them the codes, but they would not listen. So my dad, the professional, installed it for me free of charge, and then reported them. What happened was they got fined and had to replace every smoke detector. Funny how when head office got the report and stuff, they bought all new detectors and had the maintenance guy install them since no permits are needed. Most smoke detectors are only good for 10 years, and will usually have a label that says something like, replace by 202x. Edit to add. If your smoke detector doesn't have an expiration date or manufacturing date on it, then it's probably more than 25 years old and should also be replaced. This sounds like everything working as intended. What I mean is that's an example of a very good reason of why a professional should be involved in. In this case, everyone is better off for your landlord's insistence, probably dictated by their insurance policy. A few weeks back, my roommate has over a friend and they both got drunk and blazed, and one of them decided to cook at 2 a.m. He passed out with food in the oven and I woke up to the place filled with smoke. They were both too wasted to wake up. This is how I discovered the smoke detector in my kitchen was past its lifetime. I replaced it the next day. Don't forget a carbon monoxide detectors too. I bet the landlord was alarmed. I'm a landlord, and if a tenant wants to throw up their own battery-powered alarm, that's fine with me. When it comes to the hard-wired ones, though, your landlord was correct in saying that an electrician had to do it, at least in my area. Although it's literally just a quick connect 3-wire plug. It has to be under an electrical permit to replace. You would think that as the homeowner I would be able to get a homeowner permit to swap it out, right? Nope. Homeowner permits don't cover work if the house is being prepared to rent or sell. Although it probably cost your landlord $100 plus per unit by the time they paid for the alarm, labor, and permitting, it's nothing compared to being liable for damage or death caused by a fire. Reminds me of how hard hats have an expiration date on them. They are always expired. Just FYI, any unit over 10 years old should be replaced, and any unit without a manufacture date is way over 10 years old. In the UK, it's required by law that any device connected to the mains, lights, outlets, mains-powered smoke detectors, etc. Must be certified by a qualified electrician. Anyone can install it, but it's usually followed by FFS. What idiot wired this up? Quote, I'm assuming all of the hardwired ones were on one circuit. You're really lucky they did this. If a fire were to have happened in another apartment, and the detector failed, yours wouldn't have done any good. Okay, maybe the battery one. Don't take it personally. Your landlord has way more experience with idiots and his faith in another's word has totally eroded. He has a million headaches to deal with. He's dealt with the mistakes made by the overconfident. Best malicious compliance ever! Exclamation mark. This is great. Congrats. But why was the landlord even brought into the discussion? The last 4 places I've been in, I do the same thing. New smoke detectors, CO detectors, and usually swap out ceiling fixtures for a ceiling fans, sometimes paint, etc. I leave the hardwired smoke alarms, though. It's never been a problem and I usually reset the space when I move out. The one time the super in my current building noticed during a plumbing repair and complimented my changes. I always felt that as long as it's vacated in the same or better condition, it's not a problem. I'm also an electrician, but no one has ever asked. House I bought had smoke detectors that were from the 80s. Literally black cylinders with huge red LEDs on them. Luckily my state requires new and working smoke detectors and CO detectors throughout the house before sale can go through. I've got a nice hardwired system with battery backup now. I'm pretty sure that it's the landlord's responsibility to make sure there are working fire alarms. As a landlord, I don't think we need to change the batteries, but need to have up-to-date alarms. How come you installed your own? I bet part of that was not only taking the safer route on the liability front, but telling you that a professional had to do it, was also calling a bluff that you were just disconnecting them so you could get away with smoking in your apartment. Remember, there are way more tenants than property managers out there, and the ratio of shitty people to good ones remains the same from one position to the other. This is not a drill. That's peace of mind. Which is to say you are at peace with the choice that's been made. Peace of mind is different. Usually as, I'll give person a piece of my mind. That means to share. Usually enthusiastically bordering on manically. What person did wrong or how stupid they are or whatever other negative thing needs to be spoken of. This will probably be a minority view, but I don't see this as malicious compliance. It's a good story, but it's more of petty revenge. Strictly following the rules would have resulted in OP's dad simply replacing the detector. The fact that the dad chose to rat out the jerk landlord is nice justice, but it's not like OP followed the rules and nothing more. Here in Australia you 100% need an electrician or someone with a restricted electrical license to install the hard-wired ones.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.